Oh, hey, buddy, it's your old pal Scott, and this is Let's Talk Tabletop. You know, people of a certain age, my age, and maybe a little younger, a little older, are a little too fascinated with fiction, things that are not real. As much as I love the old Enterprise D, it doesn't exist. These super friends have never, ever saved a life. Not really. They have on the show, they have in the comics, they really haven't in real life. And it's interesting because it makes me kind of wonder, is this a bad thing? Should we be like not knowing all of the senior crew of the Enterprise D? Should we not be able to tell you all of the Primarchs in Warhammer 40k? Should we not be able to name all of the Bowser kids from Mario? I don't know, man. Let's explore that a little bit and dive in. So I was browsing through my YouTube feed and I realized something about myself. I rely heavily on fictional worlds, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. When I'm looking at my feed, now I do have some history in there. I have a lot of business stuff in there, but I'm scrolling through, and if it's not miniature hobby related, then it's RPG related, or it's old TV shows or toy line related, or it's Star Trek related. And I'm like, all of this doesn't matter. Like it almost seems, if you'll just bear with me for a minute, why do I know that Jean-Luc Picard is from France? Number one, how do you even know who I'm talking about when I say Captain Jean-Luc Picard? You know, I just pointed to this ship, but it doesn't mean that he's got any relation to it. And it also doesn't mean that I'm even pointing to this ship really when I go, Captain Jean-Luc Picard was born in France. His family owns a winery, right? And he's got a nephew, or at least he did have a nephew. And his brother was mad at him for not, following the family winery route. And I could tell you all of these things about this fictional ship that absolutely has never existed. And the crew complement, and how many photon torpedo bays does it have, and all of these things. And it's like pointless. Like it's kind of pointless, right? You would think that why on earth would someone just make up all this nonsense and then people like me or maybe you absorb it? Like, can you name most of the secret identities of these people in this shirt? I bet you can. Most of us can. And you're like, I don't remember my neighbor's full name, but I know who Clark Kent is. Isn't that like a really weird thing? Like, it just strikes me as such an odd thing. And then I think, okay, well, why is this? Because I like to do these mental exercises. I like to think, why are we doing this, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, nostalgia is comforting, number one. I can listen to a video on YouTube about the history of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I can remember enjoying them as a kid and remember all the action figures I had and how cool the first movie was and the cartoon and all of that, and I can listen to that. So that's cool. It's comforting. I know a lot of people have a couple favorite shows. Like the rest of my life, the different Star Trek series are going to be my comfort food. I just love the characters, I love the setting, etc. Even if I already know the stories, it's kind of safe, because out of all of the uncertainty in your life with bills and your job and the world and all of these things, health concerns or economic concerns, it's nice to know that you can just flip on The Office and there's Dwight Schrute acting stupid and there's Jim Halpert aggravating him. It's kind of nice, isn't it? It's kind of nice and it's safe. Those people are never going to move away. Those people are never going to change. And it's just kind of weird that we need that comforting. And then I think to myself, I'm thinking, we're basically walking around here with brains extremely similar to what humans had 10,000 years ago. We've changed extremely little in the last 10,000 years, probably longer than that, but I'm just being safe here. And I think to myself, okay, so we got, some Sumerian somewhere, and they've got a cell phone in their pocket. They've got like all of the human knowledge at their fingertips. They can tell you what weather is in Tokyo right now. They can pull up anything from any time in history and read about it, listen to it, etc., etc. And they've got things to worry about that no one ever worried about before, like, oh my gosh, the economy or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, I feel like we have not adapted mentally as nearly as fast as our technology has adapted. Look at the difference. For those of you who were alive at the year 2000, it has been a quarter century, 25 years, which is like that in the time span of human existence. And look how different life is with cell phones and internet and online gaming and subscription services and streaming and high speed internet and all of this. It's really crazy. And I'm not trying to sound like a grumpy old man, but I don't think we're really meant to handle this. And that's where things such as hobbies and interests and things you can do to pass the time, to just give yourself some mental ease, to help medicate yourself in a healthy way that is not actually physical medicine. I think those are more and more important every day, as well as the communities and the fandoms and the clubs and everything that go with that to give you a sense of community, because it's a well-known thing that people used to have. Even the 70s, people had half a dozen good friends, and now on average, like an adult man has like 1 or 0.5 good friends when polled. So it's very obvious to me that third spaces are leaving, et cetera, et cetera. And we need to build those relationships. And if I run into somebody who likes Star Trek, or likes miniature wargaming, or Warhammer, or Marvel Comics, or Star Wars, or anything, Super Friends, I have something in common with them, and then we can talk about that. We might be vastly different in our everything, in our genetic makeup, in our history, in our raising, in our culture, our everything, but hey, we can talk about Jean-Luc Picard. Right? And that's kind of cool. That's really, really cool. Did you grow up in Brazil in the 80s and you also love Ninja Turtles? Cool. We can talk about that. Like, that's actually really, really exciting. And I think we need it. You know, did you grow up in Germany and did you love Star Wars? Well, hey, me too. Let's talk about it. It's really, really cool that with so many things in the world that can be upsetting on a daily basis, that we actually have some things such as these fictional settings or our passive hobbies that are just wholesome. You know, when I painted all these miniatures, I wasn't out at the bar drunk. I wasn't cheating on my wife. I wasn't doing drugs. I wasn't doing any of that. I was in here and I was painting little miniatures. And a good portion of that time, I'm painting with my children beside me. And that is so wholesome if you think about it. In a world where there's always ulterior motives and there's always someone being greedy or et cetera, we have to really look for the halos in things, the silver linings in things. And I think these fictional universes help not only bring us together, but give us some comfort. You know, when Commander Riker, William T. Riker, by the way, William Thomas Riker from Valdez, Alaska, okay? I know all this. He's estranged from his dad, by the way. His mom died when he was young. Anyway, on and off again with Deanna Troi, yeah, despite her dating Worf at some point, but the son of Moog, I won't even get into. The point is that I forgot what I was saying. That is the point. No, it's just really cool. It's really cool that we need it. We need this to calm down and to center ourselves and to enjoy something. I don't have to worry about when Commander Thomas Riker is holding on to his chair and pretending like the ship is shaking. I know he's going to make it at the end of the episode. Like, you know? And that's kind of cool. Because there's a lot of things in life that you're not so sure about. Seems like the ship might be shaking, and I don't know if I'm going to get through it or not. But at least I know that Commander William Thomas Riker, he gets through it. And there's something kind of beautiful in that. You know? Harry Potter, Star Wars, Star Trek, any of these things. It's nice that we can try to stabilize ourselves mentally with these things. And by and large, they're wholesome. So go buy your Ninja Turtles Funko Pop, or go buy your Final Fantasy VII Magic cards, or go buy whatever you want. Just take a deep breath and realize that, you know what? This is one of the wholesome things in life. You got to ignore that the corporation's behind it all, but it is something that is healthy, I think, and I think it's good for you. Next time that you think that you should feel bad for enjoying a fandom or enjoying a setting or something, even if it's not real life, know that you might actually be doing yourself a service. It's comfortable, it's safe, and you're not really at risk. And that's actually called eustress. There's actually a real word for it. It's eustress. And your brain needs that sort of like fake stress when you're watching Riker clutch his chair and the whole ship is shaking because the Romulans are attacking. Um, you need that because there's a little bit of your brain that learns, oh, not all stress is fight or flight. Not all stress I have to worry about. Some stress I'm actually able to enjoy. And that's really important, I think. But that really is a thing, eustress. You look it up. And it's something that we need because otherwise we always feel like we're fight or flight. So anyway, thank you so much for supporting the show by watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, etc. And thank you to all my beautiful, sexy, good-smelling Patreon patrons right here. And this week, I'd like to thank old Grendel. Thank you so much for being a supporter. And thank you all for being a supporter of this show. And I will see you next week. Let me know, what is your number one fandom or fictional setting that you get lost in? If you had to get rid of all others, cut all of them out of your life, what is the one fictional setting you would keep? For me, it is 100% Star Trek. You let me know in the comments. I'll see you next week.